Stop, this is how you change your life around. I lost almost 200 pounds after my senior year of high school and no one believes me when I tell them how. I was bullied a lot because I was the tub-sized kid. The bullying happened everywhere I went, even while I was shopping. Just last week, a cashier flamed me because I was buying snacks for my family and she asked, "Are the snacks going to balance out the chips and cookies?" It made me realize that the only thing people are going to notice about me is my weight. Funny enough though, even after all the public humiliation, I never stopped eating. Eating was the only thing I was good at, so I found comfort in it whenever I was bullied. I found happiness in a Ben & Jerry's. I make a bunch of mini cookie ice cream sandwiches and devour those like it's nobody's business. For 3 years of high school, I did this. And when I found comfort in something else, which was swimming, I realized my weight was betraying me because I was eating for a family of 4 all the time. But eating was a part of life, so how was I supposed to beat it? The answer is you can't, but you can cheat it. All I had to do was find something physical that I enjoyed doing and do it every day. And luckily, I found something. Every morning before school, I'd hit my local pool and swim a couple laps listening to Frank Ocean with my waterproof earbuds. I was working out so hard that at some point I was burning more calories than I was eating. So, even if I ate an entire pizza, I was still hungry. It got to a point where I indulged more than I ever had before. My appetite was out of control and I was hungry all the time. There was nothing I could do to satisfy my hunger. I decided that the more I ate, the more I had to swim. I was working so hard that during senior year I passed out at a relative's wedding. I wasn't waking up, so I was rushed to the hospital. At the hospital, I met the woman that saved my life. When I woke up, she asked me questions about my eating habits and she was surprised at how much of a feast I was eating every day. She said that while it was great that I was swimming every day, my eating habits were going to kill me eventually and that I needed to stop eating for a family of 8. She told me that almost every person she's met who was overweight all had the exact same problem. She said it's entirely possible for me to lose weight and I should consider trying some sort of appetite suppressant to kill my questionable hunger. She recommended black tea and water. She explained that they aren't necessarily the best, but they get the job done. She talked to me about how her daughter had the exact same appetite problem. And she always found her in the kitchen no matter the time of day. She showed me pictures of her before her weight loss. I nearly laughed in front of the doctor's face and I felt bad because she was massive. Then she showed me a picture of her after she started taking appetite suppressants, and that's what motivated me. That's when I realized how much of an impact my eating habits had on my health. The doctor told me to come to her clinic if I needed checkups. I thanked her and we made a bet that I'd lose 40 pounds in 6 months. When I got back home from the hospital, instead of drinking nasty black coffee, I bought Purity Drops online from a store I read. Since it seemed to be an appetite suppressant that didn't taste like crap, I kept swimming no matter what to make sure I was still active though. After a week of using the Purity Drops, I was only eating 1 meal a day and some snacks. I did notice though, if I wasn't consistent using the drops every day then they wouldn't work. After 6 months of working out and using the Purity Drops, I no longer needed the drops as the habit of eating a buffet every day had gone away. Not only did they curb my appetite, but they boosted my metabolism, which helped me burn fat. And I found something more useful to do with my time by reading and playing the guitar. When I was ready, I went to that doctor's clinic for my checkup. When I got to the secretary, I saw the doctor's daughter writing and that made my heart drop. She was so much prettier in person. She had me sucking in my stomach more, hoping she'd notice me. When I saw the doctor, she checked my pulse, my lungs, and my heart rate, and everything was normal. Now it was time for the moment of truth. I stepped on the scale and I saw her write down something on her clipboard. When I stepped off of the scale, she looked at me and put out her hand. I'll never forget when she told me, "Congrats kid, you exceeded my expectations. 55 pounds. It was in that moment I knew that I could do anything. We talked about what I did for a bit and she said that she was glad I took something like Purity Drops since the ingredients weren't bad for me, but she told me that only eating 1 meal a day was a little extreme and that if I needed to I could start drinking meal replacement shakes to get back into healthier habits. I thanked her for all her help and for the motivation. But before I left I had to ask her. I asked her if her daughter was single. She told me she'd make another bet. "If you lose 100 pounds in a healthy manner, I'll put in a good word for you. I already like you." As you can tell, I took that personally.